If it's knowledge, humour, or a different perspective that you seek, look for the wisdom in the words that we speak. Words and wisdom. We'll let you decide. Hello and welcome to Words and Wisdom with your host, Zak Andrew Purdy.
And Rhythmical Mike. What's your middle name, Mike?
George.
Michael George Markham. I kind of want to say Mike, George and Markham.
My initials are MGM, and that's like a famous film production company, so that's
Yeah.
always a big one to me. But as a kid, I always hated George. Like, people used to bully me and say, "Oh, your middle name's George," so I thought it was a bad name.
Not at all.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
where's people decided names are weird?
Strange.
Well, hello there, everybody. What's your middle name? On this podcast, Words and Wisdom, we're here to just discover together. We're here to fumble and bumble and find out our own discoveries. We want to inspire people. We just want to start something new and start something that you can get involved in at home. So please do feel free to message us, leave comments. Again, I'll put little boxes around so I can edit this right.
Boxes are built into YouTube, Mikey, these days.
I'm learning.
Yeah, man.
And that's what a podcast is here for. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about switching off and finding escapisms. It's a really interesting one, this, and I'm so glad, because before the podcast, we always talk about, like, what are we going to talk about? And when you wrote that down, it was one that hit me, and I was like, oh, mate, thank God you said that, because that's so important and integral in who I am as a person in my life. So why do you find it important switching off, or do you find it important switching off?
I think switching off is important. Personally, I find it important at the right time. At the right time. You could probably describe me as an introvert. Just the ice cream man going off in the background.
And then the cockerel went off. We really are on the old farm bus.
So switching off, just switched off then. No, switching off's important because I find myself, you could say I'm an introvert maybe. Like, I can only deal with talking and people for so long before my head starts to feel a certain way. I start to get, I just can't concentrate. I can't focus on what people are saying. I burn out. And over the years, it's taken longer for me to burn out. So, but switching off allows me to recharge. It allows just sit in silence, leave my phone. It allows me to chill out, relax, recharge my battery so that I can actually better help people after that. So of course, switching off is important, and that's kind of my perception of switching off. I think. What about?
I like how you said about batteries and recharging. As I wrote in a recent song, it's like, let's go back and charge those batteries. Even Duracell has a sell-by date. Yeah. And it's just knowing everything's got an energy expenditure. And the one thing for me, like, it's funny because the last podcast we just did was on staying motivated. Yeah. And, that's kind of polar to switching off. Because when you're staying motivated, you've got to think, I've always got to be on it. I've got to be on top. When they're not, when they're sleeping, I could be working and gaining. This a good attitude to have. But I reckon what you said in the last one about writing lists and getting the goals down, and then when you've ticked all them off and when you've done everything for the day, it's like, right, that's your time now. Like Eckhart Tolle style of Power of Now.
Balance,
Learn to calm it.
You said something just then that I want to really talk about is you said the energy expenditure. Like just go into that, because I really like that. Go into that.
So every day, I wake up with if I've had a good sleep, if I had a good food the night before, if I've had done everything right, I'll be given this level of energy. Yeah. And in the day, I try and expend it, try and use it to the best of its ability. So I'm thinking about business, I'm writing stuff down, I'm doing my training.
What uses this energy, Mikey?
What uses it?
Yeah, what uses it? What uses it? So is it just certain things that use it, or is it everything, every single action you take?
Everything, every action I take. So
clothes.
where I choose to put that energy then, so if I'm going on my phone, if I sit on the toilet and I've scrolled down on my phone for about half an hour before I've done anything else,
that's energy expenditure.
That I've and again, a lot of it at the minute, because you're working out your positioning on life, you're thinking about what everyone else is doing, and all the energy's gone there, and then you're in a bad mood, and then you go downstairs.
Everything.
Kick the couch by accident.
I was going to say cat.
yeah.
I wondered why he looked so scared when I walked past him.
It's constant energy being used, so you can tire yourself out a lot. But if we go into the point of, right, you've had a good start to the day, you've done your training session, you've brushed your teeth, you've had a good start, and then you've throughout the day got stuff done, the time of switching off is integral. And this is something I want to say. When I lived in South Africa, I built up I was always working really on it. Like, they have a strange way in South Africa. They got clocks, and it says now, or now, and now means I'll do it in about half an hour. Now is like, yeah, give me a minute, I'm just doing this. And now is like, you've got to come here. And we, again, the British mentality, like, we just get stuff done, go do it, move on. Who was there? And they all had like a really chilled attitude. So I just kept working hard and doing my thing. When I came back to the UK and I had a passion and I had poetry and I went on my path, all I did was that. So I just worked hard, constantly wrote, constantly promoted, constantly thought about X, Y, and Z, and I got ill, genuinely, mentally
ran out of energy.
Ill, because I didn't do all the things that I loved before, like the playing Xbox or the escapisms in a film or chilling or being with a mate and not thinking about the next step, and just having a really nice conversation. I got rid of all that because I thought it was wasted time, wasted energy, wasted anything. And now, when somebody said you're burning the candle at both ends, something as simple as that, it was like, I really am. I really, really am. So then I went the other way.
Relaxed too much. I definitely want to just what you've said. You went from, so a balance is needed, but not always easy to achieve. Balance is hard. I mean, try and balance this notepad on your finger. It's possible, but for how long? So you've got to really keep adjusting. But one way that I like to do it is I like to burn out. And I've noticed that I used to burn out after like 3 days of intense work.
Yeah.
And then what I'd do is I'd crash, I'd get quite ill or like depleted of energy. And I'd recharge for 2 days. So I'd spend 2 days or 1 day just relaxing and recharging and not even speaking to nobody. But the more I burn out, the more I push myself. Like, now I can go 3-4 weeks like intense before I'm like, okay, now I need to recharge. So I think it's important to burn out to strengthen up that side of the mind. But if you can find a balance, that's also good. Like, there's no right or wrong, obviously.
Well, it is perfect what you're saying there, because it's learning you. Everybody who watches this, everybody that seeks answers, needs to know there's no one answer that fits all answers.
Yeah.
So my burning out time was when I was conscious of it. I felt bad. Even when I was working hard, I didn't feel good in my life. I didn't feel happy. So as soon as I just worked that out, I was like, right, okay, tomorrow you're going to get up, you're still going to try and train and stuff, but you're not going to do any work. You're not going to do anything towards business because you're just going to resent it. You're going to hate that graft. So I'd go and put on FIFA and just relax. A guy came on the other day, Tom Eisler, who's again a very good entrepreneur. He's 22, he's got this wicked big clothing business called Weirdo. Got lots of businesses, spinning lots of plates. But we were talking for the first half of the podcast for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes about Pokemon. And just his love for Pokemon and how important this is in his life.
Yeah, definitely.
And hearing this from loads of businessmen, like, again, one of our favourites, but Joe Rogan, again, he talks with young Jamie and they talk about like playing video games together and X, Y, and Z. And I think it's so important people keep real. As much as you hear the guy with the tenacious attitude of just do. If you don't have the escapism side or somebody saying, and remember, kids, when you're doing drugs, but that, like, keep in mind that taking in all avenues and making sure you're doing the best for you can do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Like, you need to. So this is how I'm going to talk about how I bring some kind of balance into my life, and I also want to talk about something that I've experienced by not balancing. So over the past 8 weeks, I've been like, with the lockdown, I've been focusing on building a business. So I've been working all day. I'll be in the office till like 8-9 o'clock or whatever at night. But before that, I was working in the kitchen. Now what I'd do is I'd work in the morning for a couple of hours, like 1 or 2 hours, get some good work done. Then I go for my walk, and then when I come home, I'd eat and train, and then the rest of the day was mine. So 2 or 3 hours work, whatever. with the rest of the day at night, I'd sit down with my computer and I'd play my World of Warcraft. Love World of Warcraft,
Wicked,
man. But what it does is you create a character on World of Warcraft, and then you can be that character.
Yeah.
So I can escape, like we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer Zak Purdy, the personal trainer, online coach, business entrepreneur, whatever you want to call me. I'm the dwarf paladin, and I'm going around. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But the thing is when I got my office in my spare room, I created the office. I was addicted to work. I love it. I love working. I love being in my office, But I stopped playing World of Warcraft. But I started to go downhill. Like
You feel that knock-on effect.
Yeah, I felt that. I wasn't allowing myself any downtime. I wasn't watching any films. I wasn't watching any Netflix. I was just work, train, talk, blah blah blah. So now I go back to at night. I play on my computer instead of working, and I feel happier. I feel happier in the morning when I wake up. So it affects your business, your work quality if you're burnt out. Like you said earlier, you got to the point where you resented it. And it affects your quality of work. Like your poetry was probably, 20-30% less of the quality it would have been if you'd have given yourself time to relax.
And when you are having an escapism or living life, just going out meeting friends and enjoying them moments, you're experiencing stuff. So for poetry, I've got something to actually go back and channel and work on. So when I stopped living life and just doing poetry, I had nothing to actually work from. So I needed to give myself stories, I needed to give myself experiences to go and take away and go, yeah, that works for me, here we go. Again, like, you've got to think about your situation. You've got a family, you've got a girlfriend, you've got a partner, whoever. Like, if all you know is...
I haven't got any ladies.
You've got a family of some script or friends. If all you know is work mode, then it's a knock-on effect to their life and to who they are. So just having an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours at night to just watch a film and sit back and...
Turn your phone off and just chill.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing me and Chrissy have implemented. We go, right now, 7 o'clock is not work time. Phones are off, social media's off, and it's completely transformed our life together. It's
strengthened the relationship.
Yeah, we're together feeling great. And now when that part of my life, that part's spinning, that plate's going, I'm like, I feel better in my life. So the business works. It's all building blocks.
Yes.
If you go, I've completely neglected and just given up on that side of my life because I need this is all I need, you become a different person. And when other areas of your life aren't working and aren't spinning, when you see them fall, it becomes wasteful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, here's the thing as well, Mike. You're talking about the spinning plates. So let's say we've got 10 plates that need spinning. If we're spinning one, we can keep it going. But if we put one down, it will keep going for a certain amount of time. The trick is not to put it down for too long. So the trick is not to have too much switch-off time. Yeah. Don't watch too many films. Use it as treats. So you've got these plates spinning, you put this one down, you grab another one, you keep that one spinning, then you pop that one down. Because then they're all spinning, but don't let any of them stop. And even if they do stop, you can always pick it back up and start spinning it again.
And I tell you what, it's a muscle again, because switching off, like something in my life, I've had a very strong mother. But if I'm not working towards a goal or towards something, I've been verbally shouted at, like, you should be doing something, you should, and we weren't allowed switch off times. In all honesty, that's just something that's ingrained in me. So when I'm sat in my house and I feel accomplished and I feel I've done enough, I still sit and there's a massive play in my head where I'm like, oh, I should be doing something, I should be. So don't beat yourself up. It is a muscle, and you've just got to really work on that as a muscle and go, right, no, switch off time is switch off time. Allow it, feel comfortable in it, learn to feel comfortable in it.
Though.
And earn it, 100% earn it, and be truthful to yourself. Know if you have done enough or you have put enough in, and if you are David Goggins in it and you've done 60% and you think you could do 100, make sure you do that 100. But when the time comes to escape, for those people that really struggle in escapism, which I am one of those, and I've spoke to many people that can't do that switching off, you've got to build that, you've got to allow it and grow. Are you somebody that can, like, say when it is business time over and you've given yourself that opportunity, will your mind quiet? Will your mind calm?
Yes and no. Like, obviously, it differs from day to day, but Generally speaking, I can allow myself switch off time if I know I've done stuff in the day. So if I've, my list of 5, my power list, if I've done all my 5 on the day, I know that I can happily chill out for the rest of the day. Sometimes I might get out the bath and I might be like, oh, I want to just do a little bit of... Now, like again, we can burn out doing that. So what I'll do is I'll take the thought and I'll write it on my whiteboard so that it's ready there for tomorrow.
And even if you wake up with a list of 6... And that that's tangible still.
Well, I've got my list of 5, and then I've got my list. Yeah. So what I can do is, if I've got like 100 things on the list, I can take 5 out of them, and so
I love that. That's a great piece of knowledge. That's a good idea to implement if people do struggle.
Whiteboard.
Like your whiteboard is it? No, it's such an important tool. You said that to me. I went off and got one, and it completely altered my perception on things. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, having a whiteboard is probably one of the most beneficial things I've done for my life and my business, because I'm like you. I'm like Christina in a way, that I've always, and Christina is your partner just in case anybody listening doesn't know. And she's very creative, and she's always, like you said, she's always got these ideas going around in her head. And I'm quite similar. So if I don't have a whiteboard to write them down, A, I lose them, and I can't act on them. And B, I don't act on them anyway, because they just kind of sit there in my head. But if I see them, there's something about writing things down and seeing it.
Yeah.
That it kind of has an effect on your brain. So like, I would definitely purchase, if you haven't already, and you want to improve yourself when you're working on a business or a venture or anything, buy a whiteboard and start writing things down.
I think the thing I'm going to take away most and from that is earn it and be truthful to yourself, because like you are allowed to put in 3 or 4 days of hard graft. Like, I'll be honest, like the other few days, I'm scheduling all the posts for things I put out on social media, so I don't have to do it for the month. But it takes so much out of me because I've got to edit them all. I've got to like work out when they're coming out, what time, what's the best, X, Y, and Z. And I really will, for like 3 or 4 days, put all of my energy in that. And it will, like last night I got home, I had to walk through Ripley, so already that's dodgy. At about 1 a.m, honestly, I was walking home at that time, got sleepy Chrissy on the phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming back now. Not scared of Ripley, but got all the way home, and I'll probably do that again after this. I'll probably edit this so this is done, and I'll just work, and it's brilliant because that's 4 days, and I burn the candle. But when the escapism does come, when we do decide, so we're going to watch a film or we're going to play a game,
do it comfortably
again, and it feels amazing. Yeah, it's such.
And going back to what we said at the beginning about the energy expenditure, you're investing energy there, because what you're doing is you're taking a large chunk of energy, you're investing it, like with all the work that you're doing, with the scheduling the posts, and with the creating a couple of months worth of content. Yeah, and then because you've invested, that will pay off in the long run.
Yes, that's it. Slow burn.
That's it,
a
mate.
while.
That's it.
Putting it all in. I'm really comfortable in that there, but like, is there much more you want to say on escapism?
I just want to
talk about some of your escapisms then.
My escapisms. Okay, so I'll be honest with you. Right. So I make sure in the week that I don't touch any substances, alcohol, anything like that. I keep my diet clean as well, and I'm working hard. Yeah. I have small escapisms in the week, so I take myself out for a walk and I leave my phone at home to allow myself to connect back to who I am and not who everybody else is on Facebook. Once that's one of my escapisms, and then at night I have a bath, play some nice music, and I'll generally play some World of Warcraft to completely switch off, so that tomorrow, and before I've done this, I've already wrote down tomorrow's tasks. So that I know that I can comfortably go to bed, go to sleep without having to think about tomorrow's tasks. And then I have an escapism at the weekend where I'll have a treat day or a cheat day, whatever you want to call it, and a fat day, Saturday, whatever. And I'll eat so much. I'll eat loads of junk food. I'll have a couple of beers. I never have any more than 2 at the minute, because if I have one, I feel good. If I have the second one, I'm starting to feel a bit like my energy comes down. Okay. And sometimes I'll have a couple of smokes on a spliff, because only a couple though, not enough. I'm not trying to get. I'm just trying to relax, man. I don't want to be this guy that's always active and always, look at me, I'm motivational and I'm going to change my life.
That is motivational. Like you saying, that's really motivational.
Yeah, man. I just
know that you can do that. You're not put forward a perfect form all the time, or say I never do anything other.
Don't need to be perfect.
Is it. So
perfection is, you don't need to be perfect. You can just be. What about yourself? What's your escapisms?
Well, and interestingly saying that, like, I think trying not to harmonize the escapism and the work. I tried that for a bit, so I'm like editing and doing things, and I put like South Park on the back or something there, and I'm a bit conflicted in the two. So now I've gone, no, work mode is this.
I was going to say that. I didn't want to.
And then escapism is after, because I've tried it in the past to do the both.
Distraction.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's a distraction.
Dilutes your energy.
Yeah. So when I have done work mode and I'm like chilled then, and it is the day has been won, the day has been earned.
Jocko Willing.
Yeah. I'll go on, and I love FIFA at the minute, but again, I'm in this area, bloody farm. We got no BT broadband, and I got on this competition thing where it's called Foot. So you're playing against people all over the world, and you're gaining points and that. I got really into that, and that became a bit worrying for me because I got addicted to that.
And you don't want to put too much time again into
I was
switching.
waking up thinking about like my team I'm building.
Yeah.
So I thought that escapism's actually not feeding me what I need it to.
Yeah.
Because it was going to become toxic.
Yeah. It goes from an escape to a somewhere where you live.
yeah, and it did. I couldn't get away from that. So I went, you know what, FIFA's cool, and every so often when I get my mates over, I'm going to play FIFA. But if I have it as a competition and try and build this team, I'm gonna. Well, that's why they make it like that. You actually get people paid to play, like they're buying players and X, Y, and Z. So they make it addictive on purpose.
Of course, there's people that make. There's people that hide. It's their job to make it addictive, using like. Oh God, let's not even get into that.
But yeah, I mean that'd be a good topic.
Same thing with social.
Yeah,
definitely addiction.
But yeah, we've got to know if it's going to feed you good in the long run. So the ones that I've really got onto now is literally like a good film, a nice meal with Chrissy, sitting down. We'll have even in like incense candle on or something, but just smell it, like the nice smell, like getting some popcorn that you like, and then just picking a film together.
Energy, mate.
Because I'm not dead like waking up thirsty for. I can't wait to just sit on my arse and eat popcorn and get a film on again. Like I feel like I've enjoyed that. Then I've had that moment, or going for a walk or whatever. But then it will get me home to go, right, you've had it, balance, work man. Time. So, know some escapisms that don't feed you what you think they're feeding you as well. Do you know?
So, okay, I mean, any escapism that I use I can get dragged into. So, like, for instance, if I'm sat around a group of people and we're drinking and someone's got some kind of a smoke, it'd be very, and I've built up a resistance to it now, and I know when to stop, but they can turn into things that don't serve you. Same thing with World of Warcraft. You can sit down playing it all day, and you can get, I'm just gonna sit here and chill out. So I think all of the escapisms have benefits. I mean, we were talking about psychedelics on one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
But they all can become toxic. So it's learning how to take little bits of them and using them for your benefit to recharge rather than using them because you don't want to escape forever. And if you do, then you need to look at your life and say what needs improving.
Yeah, knowing yourself, knowing who you are, and like constantly being conscious and aware of, like, if you wake up and all you're thinking is like, what player am I going to buy on FIFA? Then that's somebody going, right, okay, let's think again.
And again, if you on the opposite end, if you can't sleep at night because you're thinking about business and stuff, then you need
to find something.
Yeah, you need to find something.
Yeah. Good,
so, and if I can finish off with a quote,
please do, mate. Please do.
Don't get so busy making a life that you forget to live it.
Oh, that is actually wicked.
So yeah, no, and seriously, like
that, man. That's amazing.
And I'm not hugely successful, but there's things that I've learned along the path of going from washing cars and taking drugs and being homeless at points to having my own business that I have built myself in my own house. Well, I'm renting the house, but I'm paying for it myself on my own, paying my bills on my own, everything. I've got people. Man. I've got people around me that trust me, and so I'm just giving you we're just giving you what we've learned so far, and hopefully there's more to come, and hopefully you took something out of that. Those listening, those watching, that you can implement in your life, and maybe you find that you're the same in terms of us in how you switch off or how you struggle to switch off sometimes. So again, if this podcast.
Please get in touch anytime. Please do. I'm not going to top that quote, though, so I'm not even going to near that.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following us. And again, Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
Nice.
Don't send us no nudes though, because we're tired of them.
Yeah, I keep getting them from Zak.